How about before we go to the process, let's just practice only 1 minute, right? To calm down our mind. Like I told you that usually I like people to sit with me only 1 minute at a time, not 30 minutes, too long. It's too long. And sometimes, if people sit too long, they stress themselves out too. Is that right? That's not a layer of stress that we don't want to. So that's why in our experience with this young or even with young children, I ask them to sit only 1 minute at a time. How about this? Please let me hit the bell. This is what we call the bell. Hit the bell. I'm going to ask you to attend your week. In this 1 minute, please just sit comfortably. As much as you can lean back to your chair. Just relax yourself, relax your body, and open your eyes quickly. Don't close your eyes completely. In this 1 minute, just relax yourself. Just inhale naturally and exhale naturally. I wish that you afterward once you like inhalation, do inhalation and exhalation naturally. Okay, in 1 minute, just relax yourself. Let me hit the bell, the big bell first, and let's time up. And hear the bell, okay? How do you feel? It feels short, right? That's what we practice at our temple, especially for the younger one, even for the beginners. Okay, let's just get back to the practice part of mindfulness or meditation. The first one we call the posture, sitting in the chair, on the floor, lie down, it doesn't matter. But still, if you sit on the chair, let's say a couple of minutes, that's okay for you to lean to the chair. But if you like to sit more than 15 minutes and so forth, it's better to keep your back straight so that when you won't fall asleep. And in meditation practice, two things that obstructs us the most are the sleepiness and the craziness. The internal sleep. When the mind wandering around, that's obstruction we have to deal with. And the sleepiness, that's why we sit somehow before into that state of mind. Okay, so it's not important. And you see some monks or Zen teach master, they sit in the cross legs, right? That's not important. Unless you want to sit more than a couple hours and above. Some of them, they could sit for hours and hours, even days and days, even months, even years. You will not believe that. But in reality, there's some people there. My grandmaster, his name is Su Yue. He's one of the great Zen masters in China. He's sat in meditation for more than a month. When he first started to do meditation, he boiled potatoes in his hut. But when he got out his meditation, somehow that potato was spoiled. So there's many people have that kind of skill that we can Again, but for you as beginners, it's not much important to sit in full lotus yet. As well as to sit in the comfortable way. You feel yourself first. Physically, mentally. You accept yourself first. Physically, mentally. And step by step you can progress. Okay. Yeah, even you can lie down here. This is sitting pause. Okay. Now, I want to mention about what we call the breath. The breath is so important. Why is that? We can skip lunch. We can skip eating, drinking for a week. Even for months, right? We can survive with no breath, even up to 10 minutes. We take it for granted. You see many people, especially elderly people, who carry oxygen box around. Or when we go to nursing home or hospital, we see them, they sitting behind the oxygen boxes, right? Or bottles. But now we have the ability to breathe in and out, and somehow we take it for granted. But when we get in that old age, it's not easy. So, the reason why I want to mention this breath again, the breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. Why is that? What happens when we're so tired physically? What we have? We have strong and hard breath, right? When we are so anxious, when we're so stressed out, what type of breath we have? Short, yes, and fast, right? And when we're so tired, right, physically and mentally, our breath is shorter and faster, right? That's why the breath is considered as the bridge for the mind and body to heal. We see that the people are so anxious and frightened, upset, our breath tends to be shallow, irregular, and quick. If we relax, our breath is more deeper, more slow and regular. Here, a normal respiratory rate for newborn to 30 to 60. We have the measurement gently down, right? Okay. And for us, we have about between 12 to 20. Again, it's not much important. Feature the rate is respiratory rate that the estimates, but not so much important. The point is to recognize them, not to control them. Yeah, please. And here, when we search out physical, psychological impact on breathing, short term, fight or flight, that's what in psychology they talk about. When we deal with some situation, either we want to fight or we run away, want to confront or want to reject. That's why it brings the stress out. And long term, we have shallow respiratory breathing. And stress is affect to the brain, to the body. Here, that's the stress. It's affecting our body. Remember, when we're so stressed out, we could not consume much food. We could not drink much water because of that much stress, and this creates a problem in our internal organs. And intermittent breath is rapid short term, intermediate breath raise in rest short term, breathing is shallow and long. Remember, our brain needs oxygen. When we inhale, when we do inhalation, we consume oxygen for our body, especially the brain. And if we don't have enough oxygen for our brain, what happens? We have some kind of dizziness, some kind of problem that cope in the mind, in our brain, for our mentality too. Now here, we talk about breath meditation. Remember I told you? In my training, mindfulness practice, we want to stabilize our mind in the middle, not in two poles, attachment and anger. That's why we need to set down a neutral object. Neutral object. Why is that? If we think about our lovely one, let's say our children, our spouse and so forth, we have a tendency to attach them. And remember the sense, love blind us, right? We don't see all the coins, all the side of the coins. And when we think about our enemies, it's so much extreme in our mind with that kind of anger. And that's why, in order to train our mind in the impartial way of life, we need to set out some neutral object, especially with our breath, the flower, the water. Anything that may not stimulate our anger, does not stimulate our attachment, and especially for our breath. It's so essential for our life. It's so essential for our life. It's so important for our life. Now, and we see that without this kind of breath, we cannot survive. And that's why we need to not regulate. Remember? That's why I asked you about the breath yoga. In breath yoga, right, you try to control the breath, right?
Control it certainly, but also really applying your awareness.
Yes. And the beauty of breath meditation is that try to absorb it without any kind of projection, without any kind of attachment. How? Who does breath meditation here? Okay. Yeah, how can you explain?
If I'm particularly distressed or whatever, I like the breathing meditation to, is another form of releasing and relaxing me so that I can meditate.
Anyone else? Okay, here. Here's the beauty of breath meditation. You want to say something? Okay. You don't need to do anything. Like the little child there. She can breathe in and out naturally. She doesn't need to wait for her mother to tell, oh, you need to breathe in and out. That's right. That's why in meditation, somehow it's better for us to breathe in and out as a child. Most of the time because of our underthinking that has disturbed that type of the innocent breathing that we have. Let me explain to you again. When we do inhalation, you recognize. Whether it's long or short, you recognize. Just accept the way it is. When we exhale, you recognize. For breath yogas, according to my knowledge, I have not practiced because somehow, in my view, unless I know that techniques, I would do, otherwise I would not. But for me, I feel more safe to accept my breath as the way they are. I don't need to manipulate my breath. I don't need to manipulate out my inhalation, exhalation. Whichever I inhale, just recognize us. Whichever I exhale, just recognize us. It's easy. That's called non-doing. You don't need to do anything except being aware. That's all. Being aware of that breath at this present moment. That has helped us to train our mind from swinging back and forth between attachment and anger. Why? Because most of the time we have the tendency to judge people, to judge ourselves, how we look, how we see, and so forth. We don't have the ways how to maintain that kind of impartial views, even for our life. We don't accept this body. We don't accept what happened in our mind. Especially the young people, especially the teen. The reason why they freak out, the reason why they have preparation, because when they go to school, their friends may give them some kind of bad comment, the way they wear their dress, the way they walk. That's all right. But because they don't believe in themselves, they don't have a self-confidence. That's why if we start with our breath, just accept it as the way it is. But inhale, recognize. Exhale, recognize. That's all. Easy, but not easy. It takes time. It's the time to practice. Eventually, you can get used to how to target, to accept our breaths and the way they are. How about this? Let's practice, okay? Practice only 1 minute to see before I move further. You don't need to slow down your breath. You don't need to fast your breath. Just accept the way they are. That's all. Can you be? Or how about this? Let me hit the bell. Okay? With last minute. I think many of you could recognize this kind of benefit, this kind of concept. But in reality, in practical sense, it's not easy. Is that right? It's not easy to accept your breath, right? So how about this? Try it, okay? Let's do it with me for 1 minute. Alright, so sit comfortably. Alright, whichever breath you have. Inhale, exhale, whether it's long or short, shallow or deeper, doesn't matter. Just accept the way you are. Okay, let me hit the bell for a minute. Please within that minute, enjoy your breath and be with your breath, please. So how you feel? You recognize the breath? You don't need to change. You don't need to manipulate your breath. You don't need to do anything to be aware. If we can do that, if we can create a habit patterns, it's easy for us to live with this physical body. We accept this physical body. This is our body. We accept whichever happens in our mind. Instead of rejecting the bad thoughts, the ugly thought that may pop up in our mind all the times. Accept that. That's the beauty of breath meditation. Again, when we train our mind with that acceptance, we remain here. We start with ourselves. We don't need to do anything. Remember the principle or the importance, the essence, principle of practicing mindfulness is acceptance. Accept whichever. What's going on in our mind? What's going on in our breath? We start with our breath. And I told you, what happens if we are not accept this body? We compare, especially the young people. Oh, I'm not prettier than other girls. Oh, I'm not smart than other boys, and so forth. Without that comparison, without judging, we create ourselves stress. You see that? So when we start with our breath, that's all. That's all we can do. Just accept the way we breathe in and out. Okay? And here, you don't need to slow down, you don't need to speed up. Just focus on the attention, whichever come up and down in your body here. When you inhale, through the nose. Some people ask me, can we inhale and exhale through the mouth? What do you think? That's good or no? What do you think? Who work in the healthcare profession, it's unhealthy. If we breathe in out from our mouth, it's better to breathe in out from our nose, because somehow our nose has the function of filtering out body, dust and so forth. Can accept that. You see that when you inhale, or we just expand diaphragm, contract, the belly, expand. Doesn't matter. Just say that. Just recognize us. We exhale through our nose. Just relax. Diaphragm relax and belly contract. Just say that. Okay. How about try 1 more minute? Okay. Any questions? Go on. All right. Let's while we're talking, we do some practice. All right. Is that okay? All right. Let's do 1 more minute. So please just accept your breath and recognize, if you can, the heartbeat, but don't look for. All right. Don't try to inhale, exhale. Don't try to force your breath. Don't try to force your air. All right. Just relax and recognize that. Okay. Please, we do 1 minute. How you feel? You relax. Okay. You feel sleepy? Oh, no. That's just important. Be relaxed and be aware of your breath. Alright, so you want this. Okay, here, this is the instruction. This is up to you. This is, you can be flexible. That you may pay attention, but the air comes through your nose. Now begin your breath. Recognize quality of awareness is not counted for the times. Remember I told you, it's better, even my own experience, it's better to sit in the short period of time, about 5-10 minutes. We emphasize the qualities than the quantities. So as we recognize or be aware of that breath for that period of time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's great. Instead of sitting for 30 minutes and an hour and we stress ourselves, it's a waste of time. Yes, you don't have any question yet?
Just clarifying your statement, we're focused on quality versus quantity.
Quantity, yeah, the times. Yes, please.
Okay, so what do you do if you find yourself nodding off, starting to fall asleep? What technique do you use to, or what do? You just quit or what?
This is how I told you. These two main obstructions when we do meditation. One is sleepiness and one is raciness. Yeah, or mind wandering. If we encounter kind of sleepiness, this happened to me, especially when I sat for more than a couple hours. It's easy to fall asleep. And most of the time, it's better to wake up, stand up, to walk around, to wash your face, to do some exercise, to wake up, that's all. You can use many ways. And even, for me, go to sleep. If somehow we're so tired, physically, mentally, it's better to go to sleep. That's my own experience. Before I want to sleep more than an hour, it's better for me to rest myself. Let's feel few minutes. You know, sometimes when you get back from work, physically, mentally, you're tired. Don't sit right away. Just try to relax yourself. Try now, lie down. Lie down for a few minutes, even 10, 15 minutes, so that you can get back of your rhythm of your life. And after that, you can sit up. You may have more awareness than try to force yourself. Any questions? Any more questions? I have the list of obstruction, the problems that I printed out for you. You can read here or go back home to it. It is up to you. There's many obstructions, many problems, when our difficulties when we do meditation. Here again, breathe naturally. That's why I told you. Like a child. That child doesn't need to be told to breathe in and out. When we were unborn child in our mother wombs, we know how to breathe in and out already. We don't need to do anything. That's our physical body mechanism. Just let that mechanism does its jobs. We don't need to manipulate. The more we manipulate, the more problem we may occur. We may have. Now, judgmental, be kind yourself. Be kind your breath. You don't need to think about that. Just accept, just follow that. Be at the present moment. no regret of the past, or fear of the future. That's here. This is the present here too. Again, it's the present too. And the past and future. Don't link, don't try to attach with these two folks. Just try to stabilize the mind in the present moment with your breath. We recognize, we cherish that we're still alive, we're still healthy, we still breathe, we have that ability to breathe in and out. Otherwise, when that moment passes, we cannot get back. Eyes closed, depend. You can close eyes a little bit or open, doesn't matter. Again, what's better? Not through the mouth, through the nose better. It's healthy. Yes, please. Here, the phase one, inspiration, is inhalation. You don't need to pause. It's just natural. Important thing is to observe, to be aware. Not inhale, we stop. No, don't do that. That's not the meaning there. It's naturally stop. When we inhale in full way, right, it just stops naturally. And at the other time, we do exhalation naturally. Like this pendulum, this swing. When it swings to the other hand, to completely or fully, it will pull the other hand to phase 3, exhalation pose again. Just inhale, exhale naturally. Here, body and conscious mind. That's what they talk about. The breath and body. When we stress out, it's attached to our body. When we're happy, when our body is calm down, our mind will come to, and so forth. That's what we talk about. Here, focus attention on the breath. If we have the one mind, that's why I told you, the two things that occur most of the time, sleepiness and craziness, or one in minds, or the internal sleep that bother us. Just recognize and bring back to the breath. Now, like the children, when they play games, right? They feel focused on playing the games. And after the games, they look for other games, right? So they have to have some kind of object, of focus, of concentration. And even for us too, when we sit in here, or when we're walking around, we try to find other things to do, especially at home too, right? We try to. I have met many people, even they retire already, they say, I'm so busy. Is that true? Yes, they're busy mentally. They retire already, they can enjoy their life. But because their mind is so busy, that's why they stay busy. So that's why, every of us, we are so busy with our times, with our life. We may not have times, we not find time to meditate, but it's up to us to determine our times. If we have determinations. Here, if acknowledge current focus attention, bring back our attention to the breath. If somehow when we focus on the breath, even 1 minute is easy. 2 minutes easy to focus? Not easy. 3 minutes, you see, it's not easy to sit still. Naturally, don't force yourself. Because why? When we sit there, our mind jump here and there. Think about our jobs, think about our friends, think about family members, think about how we deal with that person, this person, think about we may be laid off and so forth. All kind of things are concerned here. That's why it's not easy to calm the mind. But if we train our mind, again, go back to the awareness of breath, we let go naturally of thoughts. Because why? According to the census research, as we focus on one object, at the time of the thought would not obstruct us easily. Like while you writing the email, while you responding email to your friends. If you really focus on that type email, that type writing, even foreign, Even your wife and your children call you to have a lunch or dinner, you don't pay attention much. Just focus on that type of writing. You understand that? But if your mind is not strong enough, yes, you follow them, have a dinner or lunch. Do you know that? So again, that's my training to, again, here, mindful response, turning toward difficulties, acceptance, letting go. It's not easy. How to accept and letting go? And the other distress reaction, explain avoidance, loss reaction, judgment, determination, confrontation. I think I like to talk a little bit about how could we accept and acceptance and letting go. Letting go. Let's say someone gives you some kind of comment about how you dress, whether it's good or bad, whether negative, positive comment. It's easy to accept. It's easy to let go. What do you think? Not easy, right? Easy, of course. But when we train our mind with that breath, we accept already. Bring back to our breath. Whichever they say, we accept who we are. And it's not easy. That's the moment we could accept whichever they say. We could accept and let it go. You understand that? Not easy, but when true practice for not many days, not many months, many years, you could build up that high tolerance to deal with the situation. Again, that's why being patient and tolerance is so important. Alright, so that's why, let me tell you a story. I had a follower who lived in California. She worked in a nail salon shop, and somehow, it's pretty hard for her to deal with her clients. And sometimes one day she had a hard time with one of the hard clients, and that lady, she criticized her. And at that moment, this lady somehow she decided certain mantra. She focused on deciding certain mantra at that present moment, the moment that she was criticized by her clients. And of course, she would not react in a negative way. But when she got home, she taught herself with her internal truth. How come I'm so stupid? I don't react in a negative way to that kind of criticism. You understand what I say? So my point is that whichever thing happens, if you bring your mind back to your breath, and in her case, back to her mantra, the other things would not disturb our mind. That's the beauty of breath meditation. And of course, when you do a driving school, right? I don't know, here, do they give you a ticket while you driving and you do the taxi yet? But in California, it's at least $300 or $400. It's pretty expensive. By the way, if you drive, while you drive, you taxi, they give you at least $300 or $400. Anyway, let's go back. So whichever thing happening, how's there? To bring back your breath. That's why we could bring back the present moment of our life. You could bring back to that kind of awareness. We can accept whichever going. Okay, this is the quality again. Patient, non-judging, self-confident, letting go, non-expectation. Again, if you sit for 15, 30, or even an hour, right? If you have expectation that I have to cool down my mind, can you cool down your mind with that expectation? No way. Just sit and sit. Don't need to have any kind of expectation. When we train our mind with this kind of principle, with this kind of guidelines, when we go out, it's easy for us to deal with people. When we see people, when we deal with people, when we interact with people, we would not judge them. Anyways, we just utilize our impartial views to talk. We just accept whichever thing they say. they react. We just recognize what happened to them, what happened to us. Alright, so this. Okay, now let's go back here. Let me stop here for a while for you to ask questions about mindfulness. Again, that's the basic principle or process that we need to have. The basic attitudes that we need to have again: acceptance, non-judgmental, being aware, here and now. These are the basic attitudes, principles you need to have. Okay, so before we do any more practice, you have any questions? How about this? Let us do some more practice before we come back to talk about some kind of problems. Okay? Let's start again. 1 minute. Now, instead of being aware of your breath, count your breath for me. Why? Why we need to count? Because most of the time, while we have inhalation, exhalations, most of the time because of that inner strip interrupts our awareness. That's all right? So that's why we need to count so that we can remember what happened in here. And that's just the means. Just the experience means for us to recognize, to be mindful of breath. Later on, if we are aware of our breath completely in a full way, we don't need to count. It's just the practice. Okay? How about this? 1 minute again. When you inhale, remember, don't force your breath. Don't manipulate your breath. Right? Just inhale, exhale naturally. Count 1 me, please. Inhale, exhale, count 2. Inhale, exhale, count 3. Count continuously for 1 minute. Is this okay? Alright, so let's let me hit the bell to start. So again, you just sit comfortably and count your breath, okay? Please sit and count your breath for 1 minute. You can count from 10. How many? 10. Okay. How many count? Okay. Let's just count it again. When we count, so that we keep track with our breath. That's the way we be mindful. We keep our mindfulness with the breath. I think that means again. But when you don't have any more internal strip, any more running mind or thoughts, you don't need to count. But I begin, even me too, for many years doing meditation, I still count my breath. So, yes, sir.
I consciously have to take a deep breath. If I want a deep breath, it makes me feel better to take a deep breath, but naturally, unless I'm aware of it, I breathe very shallow.
So matter. As long as you recognize that's all, as long as you are aware of that, that's important. That's your choice. Remember, some lady came up and asked me, any wrong or right way to meditate? Again, there's no wrong and right. Only whether you recognize that breath or not. Aware of that breath or not. Or be present moment of that breath or not. That's more important. There's no wrong or right. Some of us may not like to do breath meditation. Especially the children, at the temple. Yeah, I just said 5 minutes, but 1 minute at a time. But somehow they love to do body scan, back down, of course. That's what they love. That's okay too. It relaxes the body a bit. Alright, so maybe everyone have different approaches, so there's no problems at all. As long as you feel comfortable with yourself, that's more important. As long as you accept who you are, as long as you accept your breath, the ways they are. As much as there's no judgment about yourself. physically remain to you. That's no point. Okay? I know that you sit too long, right? How about this? Let us stand up for you, if you like. I know. You can relax yourself from exercise. This is stress out. I know. This is we have 20 more minutes. You can stand up if you want to. If you don't want to, you can remain sit. Right now, I like to practice with you some kind of standing meditation. Yeah. All right. In standing meditation again, relax yourself. Instead of sitting, you just stand there. You can stand still. In a way that you feel comfortable with yourself. With your body, try to find the position that you can stand. Okay? And with this standing, you don't need to count your breath. You are aware of your body. How is different from sitting to the standing? When we sit down, we let all the weight, our body weight on the chair. But now, when we standing, we let all the weight on the foot. That's awareness. Recognize, okay? Now again, let me press 1 minute, okay? Yes? Yeah, you don't need to. Yeah. You don't need to do this. No, don't do this. Just relax yourself. And remember, the purpose of meditation, whichever practice you do, is for yourself, not for us, not for others. As much as you feel comfortable with yourself, as much as you are aware of yourself, as long as you recognize your breath, the rhythm of your breath, the weight of your body, and your mind, is more important. Okay, if you can live to the chair or hold it, that's okay too. Any way that you feel comfortable. It's no restriction, alright? Because it's for you, not for other people. Okay, so this 1 minute, please relax yourself. You can drop your hand or hold your hand or hold your chair, just doesn't matter, that's your choice. Alright? Okay, so basically press 1 minute and remember now to relax yourself. Recognize with that awareness to how you stand, how you feel, how your breath come in and out your breath. Okay, you can close your eye or open your eyes, up to you. Okay, let me hit the bell to start for 1 minute. So how you feel in different position from sitting to standing? You like to walk around? You like to walk in meditation? I know that's because you sit for a while. It's more than 2 hours already. So I think it's better to do some kind of walking meditation, and after that we can get back to do breath meditation again. Okay? So how about this? Who have done the walking meditation before? How can you do this? Can you tell them how to do walking meditation?
Well, I get relaxed before I start, and then I just wander. I usually just wander, and I watch my breath, and I just feel relaxed, like I was sitting. But it's like wandering to me. I call it wandering.
Anyone else? Yes, lady. Yes. If you don't want to walk, you can stand. You can sit down. It's up to you. It's your choice.
I just pay attention to my walking and just walk.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, please.
Very similar to that, feeling each footstep go through its motions. things. So maybe taking a little bit more notice of some of your other senses, the smells that you notice during your hike or whatever.
Thank you. Okay, how about this? If you want to sit, that's fine. Now remember, this practice for you, not for me, not for anyone else. Right, that's your choice. Ask once you feel comfortable. How about this? Let's do some kind of walking meditation practice, and after that we can go back to do the breath techniques, because I know it's sitting for a while, your body is maybe sleeping, right? So you can listen to me while you're walking now. You still have a room here. So again, I think we may walk around 5 minutes, okay? After that we can get back here. Alright, how about this? You can walk in any way you like, left or right, or quick or slow, doesn't matter. It's your choice. Remember, you don't need to judge other people, how they walk. Or let me hit the bell, we can walk while I'm talking, okay? Yeah. You can walk in any direction you want to, as much as you feel comfortable with yourself. Yeah, please do so. Yeah. So please don't judge other people. Don't compare yourself with other people. Just accept yourself. Whether you want to stand, whether you want to sit, whether you want to walk, just enjoy this precious moment of your life. Walk naturally and mindfully. You don't need to take anything, whether right foot or left foot. Just recognize the way you put your left foot first, or the way you put your right foot first, doesn't matter. The point is to be aware of your foot, of your step. Recognize every step that you have. Recognize the weight that you put down on each of your steps. Recognize your arms that may swing back and forth. If you let them loose, or if you hold your hand, just recognize. Recognize how your body sensation are different from the way you were sitting. Just recognize. Don't think anything. Just walk and enjoy your walking only. Don't set any goal of your walking. Just walk and just enjoy this present moment, this precious moment of my life. Nothing else. I drop down everything on my foot. Nothing bothers me. Just let go of everything. I recognize how my hips are moving with my bodies, how my shoulders, how my muscles are moving with my bodies. I just recognize whether it's comfortable or not. Just recognize and accept them as the way they are. No need to analyze, no need to compare whether people work fast or slow than you. Doesn't matter. That's their choice. Important is their choice. You work quicker or slower, that's your choice. You enjoy this precious moment of your life. Recognize how you swing your arms. Recognize every step that you have. When you lift your left foot, when you put it down on the ground, you feel the weight that light on the left foot, and vice versa. Recognize the breath come in and out. Recognize the rhythm of your breath. Recognize the motions of your steps. You don't need to analyze. You don't need to compare. Just accept the way you are. There's no road for us to walk through. Just walk, just do the walking, nothing else. Just be aware of the walking. Let's go of all kind of thoughts, whether it's negative thoughts or even positive thoughts, flow down to the ground through your feet. Let them go. Relax yourself, enjoy yourself, deep precious moments. You could notice the air that flows around your body while you're walking. You could notice the air that people breathe while they pass you. You could be aware of the chair, of the tables, of the cell phones, whichever in the room. Just be aware. You don't need to compare. You don't need to analyze. You don't need to make any kind of judgment about them. Just recognize. Recognize your breath as go in and out. Recognize how your shoulders, how your muscle move with your body. Recognize how your hands move with your body. Recognize, accept whichever happening, whichever sensation you have in your body, whichever thought that pop up in your mind. Just accept them. Don't try to block them. Just let them go. Whichever thoughts may occur in your mind about your worries, of the jobs, of some conversation, business you may need to have next couple hours, just let them go. Just enjoy this present moment. Just enjoy here and now. No need to argue. No need to analyze things. Just tell yourself that I postpone everything I will do, I fulfill my responsibility afterwards, after this present moment. I just recognize my breath. I just recognize my sensations. I just recognize my thoughts. You can sit down, stand up, or walking. It's up to you. All right. Okay. So now let's now go back to our seats. Please. I hope you enjoy your walking. Any question? Let's go back to our breath again. Okay. So after you stand, have stood, after you have walk, now you go back, you sit. Let's get back to our breath again. Okay. Let's do 2 minutes. This is our one. Little bit challenge. Is that right? 2 minutes. Again, just inhale and exhale naturally. Don't use any force, remember. Don't try to control your breath. Just let the way they are. Just let them go. They do. Let's just let them function the way they are doing. Right? Just let them. To be aware of them. Okay. Let's start with 2 minutes. And again, when you do inhalations, naturally, exhalation, naturally, come one. Inhale, exhale, count 2. Inhale, exhale, count 3. Inhale, exhale, count 4. Please count continuously, so that you can keep track of your breath over 2 minutes. Please hit the bell to start. Everyone is different. You don't need to compare. You have to be with yourself. It's more important. Be aware of yourself. It's more important. Be present moment. It's more important. Okay. So I know that sounds out now, but again, before we go, I'd like to pop up some concrete questions, especially if many people concerned about, I don't have time to meditate. Again, do you have a minute? You hear that? 1 minute at a time. When you want to walk, even when before you drive it, sit there, even 30 seconds. That's enough. You break the autopilot to calm the mind. I used to tell my followers, whatever happened, especially when someone gives us power plants, don't react on the spot. If at that time, if you react, let's say if someone says something, if they give you some kind of comment, it's easy for us to have that kind of anger, right? It's better to step back. It's better to cool down. That's my strategy, not to react. When we have emotions, when everything's calm down, everything cool down, it's better to stop. That's when we have that type of clarity, whenever our mind calms down. The wisdom comes forward when we have the stability, or calmness, or peacefulness. Okay, so again, I put a lot of obstruction, how to deal with obstruction and difficulties in the handout, and plus there's some instruction about how to sit, how to do the body scan. Yes?
I would like to know, where do we go online to find your classes at U of H?
Oh, right now, last time I printed out a lot. I will print out, put the table. Actually, I'm teaching in the fall, the mindfulness class for the student over there. This is in the fall. But someone asked me about the meditation class. I have not set up yet. If you like, you can write up your names and let reference know so that she can email to me. And if you go to my website, there's my contact information there too, and you can contact me. So right now I have not set up the meditation retreat yet, but if many people request, we will contact you. So if again, after this you can write your names if you're interested in having some kind of retreat, meditation retreat, and let the reference know so that she can forward to me. Okay. So that's my website there, and my email there. Thich Hang Dat. Okay, and my email too. Whichever question you like to have about mindfulness or meditation, to let me know. Yes.
Do you have a textbook or anything?
Yes. Yes. In the handout, I print out for you here books on meditation for beginners. Mindfulness in Plain English by Henry Kohler. Miracles of Mindfulness by Thich Hang Dat. I will put the page, probably the last page. You see that in the handout? That's a big for beginners. Even some information for the advanced people too. And still the handout. Thanks for your printing. It's beautiful colors. It's talk about those Buddhist meditation in risk happiness. Yes, not only for Buddhist people, for everyone. For anyone who like to do, who want to do, or who put enough effort in doing meditations. So again, a lot of things for me to explain or to elaborate since we don't have much time. Again, thanks for your coming, and hope that you could keep up with your practice. Remember, every day we take a shower for our body. We cleanse our body. But most of the time we don't know how to cleanse the stuff in our mind. Meditation is a practice how to cleanse, how to relax ourselves. Through the practice of mindfulness, through the practice of walking meditation, body scan, or while you're driving, while you're cooking. Yes, please.
minutes or whatever, 10 minutes maybe. What is the reason I would do an hour or 2 hours or several hours versus just some minutes?
Again, we base on the quality, not the quantity of times. The quality is that if you really focus on that 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, couple hours, it's okay. But if you just sit there for even 5 minutes and let your mind have daydream, waste of time. So that's what I'm talking about. Because we want to go deeper state of mind. As this is in Buddhist teaching, it's all kind. The Buddha provide all kind of scenes, all kind of descriptions we have to deal with our mental state by when we sit that long. But most of the time, if you sit only 30 minutes or 40 minutes and so forth, you will not have to deal with that much problems. It's just a state of relaxation, a state of stabilized mind and so on. But if you really want to know the thought before you go, if you really want to know the thought, a couple hours is the minimum. It's like, let's say when someone says something about you, it's like it's a pond. Someone dropped the rock, little rock, to your palm, the palm of your mind. And if you don't recognize it, at first when the rock hit the bottom, you will not see, you could see a little bubble, right? Eventually, bigger, bigger, and bigger. When it's up above here, it's too late. What's mean? When someone scold you, you're so angry, you scold back. It's too late. It's up here. But when someone scolds you, give you bad judgment, you recognize, this is my thought, let it go. You're peaceful. You understand that? That's why I say that if you sit more than 2 hours, you have more chance to recognize every instant of your thoughts. And of course, it's required years of practice, not months. But of course you can practice few minutes at a time, that's okay too. Alright? Any more questions before we conclude? All right. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for your participation.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here today. Please remember to come back in 2 weeks for our final lecture on sexuality in the Bible. If you will please complete the event comment form and hand it to one of the ushers on your way out. We do read them, and if there are more programs that you would like this, please write it on the form. We'd love to know, especially in our planning coming up for next year. So thank you all for being here, and have a wonderful week.